Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Friday to you and your family. We're taking a look here at Crocoin, seeing what's going on with Cronos, our friend. It's doing pretty well. This is basically my anticipation from yesterday as to where it should go over the next 24 hours, and big surprise, it went up a lot faster, broke through that resistance level, and came back down to retest it. This is a fantastic thing. So in case you missed that, of course, keep in mind on my Twitter, I send out these updates consistently. This is the video link from yesterday, our path to $1, as well as, of course, the same playout chart you just saw there. So just keep in mind, you can find all that there. There's a ton of good fundamental and technical data here, so please be sure to check that out. Help us grow the community as well. It's going pretty well so far for just kind of being in the game for a short amount of time. While I did create the account a couple years ago, I really just only active the last couple of weeks. So it's been a really good experience so far. Great way to interact with our community. We really do love it. So be sure to check that out. CryptoCash.tech. We have a link to the Twitter there. Also down below, links below, all that good stuff there. So follow us, help us like, subscribe, the whole 9 yards here too as well, if you'd like to stay abreast on this coin, and many more. So what we're looking at here for Crow, we're going to zoom out, of course. We're going to remove this because we kind of already know what happened with that play out. We're going to go to the hourly, crash in the daily, and then work our way down to the hourly and effectively make an informed decision. So when it comes to the daily, what are we looking at here? First of all, we still truly haven't closed above this level yet, this Fibonacci retracement level at 77 cents. While the price is at 77 right now, we want a good firm closure above that. So 77.1, 77.2, something like that, staying above that level when the one-day candlestick close. We have about 6 hours left in this this day left before the trading day is over, right? So that being said, what can we see on the charts? Well, what we can see here is pretty obvious. Money flow index is increasing. We're starting to see more volume coming into this coin. We can see RSI is coming up closer to 70 and almost essentially getting rejected, but not quite yet. So we do have more room for growth. We're only 4 days into this continuation, so it's looking pretty good there. And then when it comes to the MACD, we can also see here that we are converging quite nicely. So all in all, really good stuff there in the overall sense of things. And when we left off yesterday, I was concerned about the 200-day set moving average being one of the only resistances that we have left. Well, we're now above it. Okay, so as long as we don't close in a gravestone doji candle here today, we should be in good shape to be able to see that continue upwards. Okay, so really cool stuff there in that regard. We're looking pretty nice for that 200-day set moving average, likely going to be a new support. So we are looking at a decent amount of uptrend potential here for Crocoin. On the 4 hour, we can see we're above all moving averages. Bear in mind, this is a very common characteristic. We're looking at a total of a 200-day and 50 and 20-day set moving average all below the level. Okay. Another thing to recognize too is that we can see this ascending trend here working concurrent with the 20-day SMA. It's a very common characteristic. You'll see that happen on the daily as well. So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us we're mostly bullish on the daily and the 4 hour. We're above 50, below 70 on the RSI. That's typically a bullish characteristic. And the only thing we have to worry about here is potential MACD divergence, and that's probably a few days away. Okay, so we're probably a little ways away from that. We're probably not going to diverge right away unless the price drops like a rock. Okay, so if we take a look at the hourly, let's go ahead and see what's going on here, because this is really what's going to be the proof in the pudding here, as I like to say. We came down to an 8. We consolidated nicely at this previous resistance turn support level. Current Fibonacci retracement at 77 cents. Great chance we're going to see further upside from here, based on the simple fact that we're overextended to the downside and that natural reaction is for the price to come back up. Keep in mind though, this is the little disclaimer I have to run by every time I make a video like this, is that when we are looking at the overall sense of Bitcoin, it's trying to test that resistance level, that descending trend line. If it breaks above and continues upwards, then I would say that Crocoin is going to probably excel. However, and I know it's not falling exactly, you just got to keep in mind too, every altcoin kind of falls to this. If Bitcoin loses that support level at 29,000, there's a great chance Crocoin could come down and likely retest this the ascending trend for another leg up. Okay, just keep in mind, if we come down that low, we'd be establishing lower lows, and that wouldn't be great. Okay, so just know it's not perfect. No trading truly is. But that's kind of something that's a confirmation or a non-confirmational sign to ensure that our confirmation is no longer valid, right? It invalidates that confirmation. But for right now, the fact that we're closing and continue to maintain right there at that level is good. Let's take a quick peek at the volume. Volume is starting to dissipate. I don't love that. I would like to see more volume at this price point. But again, another slightly disadvantageous thing. Looking at the Ichimoku cloud, this is fairly positive, but also kind of not. What I mean by that is we're above the cloud. As you can see, the cloud is working concurrent with this ascending trend. Great news. That's good job. That's thumbs up number 1. Thumbs up number 2 is kind of not really thumbs up at all. We got the lagging span intersecting with the price action within probably the next 5 to 10 hours, really just implying that if you have a long position open, you should have taken your profits by now. So I wouldn't say that you should rely on a hope and a prayer that the price continues up from here, because Bitcoin, if it does decrease in value, which I'm kind of expecting, then we should experience a slight dip from Crocoin, hopefully to stay above the cloud and continue upwards. But we're not there yet. We'll see when we get there. But again, yeah, last thing but not least, of course, conversion line is now below the baseline, telling us that we have lost that momentum. And then if you have an open long position, you may want to consider trimming your position, which is basically just closing part of it. Leave the rest open because we haven't confirmed downside yet, but there is potential for that on the horizon. So to me, one of two scenarios exist. One, to come back down here and to essentially ride the cloud up, or the second scenario is to come up, retest this level, possibly get rejected and come down. Technically, there's a tertiary option, of course, where the price just continues to ramp up from here because we were overextended to the downside. All three scenarios can exist concurrently, and in fact, there's an unlimited amount of scenarios that are possible here, right? So generally speaking, I would say that Crocoin has more potential for the upside than downside, right? At least it's on the daily, we're above a support level for now. 4 hour has mostly bullish qualities, but if we start to diverge, we need to kind of have another conversation. So generally speaking here at this point, I think bigger picture macro, we are definitely looking at somewhere along the lines of the 10-cent mark or higher in the next couple of months. I think that's very realistic. But in the immediate future, we may see a pullback before we see the next leg up, because once again, Bitcoin dominance is still trending right where it's been this whole time, right? And if it keeps trending in this resistance level and then eventually breaks, altcoins are going to take a hit. But if we can get Bitcoin dominance to come back down, profits from Bitcoin goes into altcoins, right? That's what we're looking for. So I'm keeping a close eye on that too, kind of seeing what's going on. I do, again, send updates on that regularly through our Twitter, so be sure to check that out. If you haven't already liked, subscribed, or thumbs up this video, greatly appreciate the help. I thank you so much for joining me here. If you want to become a better trader, again, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.